Hey everyone, Bob here. And today we're talking about something most people misunderstand completely: debt. You've probably heard this your whole life. Stay away from loans. Debt is dangerous. Only broke people borrow money. But here's the truth rich people understand early. White right pointing backhand index debt is not good or bad. It depends on how you use it. Millionaires don't avoid debt. They use it like a tool. And today, I'm going to break down exactly how they do it in simple terms. Section 1, the big idea: good debt vs bad debt. Let's start with something important. Not all debt is the same. Bob breaks it down like this. Large red circle: bad debt. This is debt that takes money out of your pocket. Buying expensive clothes you don't need. Phones on credit you can't afford. Car loans for a flashy car that loses value. Bad debt equals you pay interest and get poorer over time. Good debt. This is debt that puts money into your pocket. Loans to buy rental properties. Business loans to start or expand a company. Borrowing to invest in assets that grow. Good debt equals you borrow money and make more than you repay. And this is where millionaires live. Section 2, why rich people don't use their own money. Now listen carefully. A millionaire has two choices. Option A. Use $100,000 of their own money. Option B. Use $100,000 from a bank at low interest. Most people think option A is safer. But rich people think differently. Because when you use your own money, you lose liquidity. Your money stops working elsewhere. You limit your growth. But when you use debt, white right pointing backhand index, you keep your cash. White right pointing backhand index, you still own assets. White right pointing backhand index, you can multiply opportunities. So instead of spending $100,000 once, they might control $500,000, $1 million, or even more in assets using leverage. That's the secret word: leverage. Large blue circle. Section 3, real estate, the classic wealth move. Let's talk about the most famous example: real estate. Imagine this. A millionaire wants to buy a $200,000 apartment. Instead of paying cash, they put down $40,000, 20%. Borrow $160,000 from a bank. Now here's where it gets interesting. That apartment is not just a place to live. It becomes an income machine. They rent it out for $1,500 per month. Loan repayment plus expenses might be $1,000 per month. So they make white right pointing backhand index $500 profit every month. White right pointing backhand index while the tenant pays the loan. White right pointing backhand index, and the property increases in value over time. So what happens? The bank's money helped them. Heavy checkmark: buy an asset. Heavy checkmark: generate income. Heavy checkmark: build equity. Heavy checkmark: increase net worth. This is why millionaires love real estate debt. Section 4, business loans, using other people's money to scale. Now let's move into business. Millionaires don't start businesses slowly. They scale fast using loans. Here's how. A business owner has a good idea but need capital. Instead of waiting 10 years to save money, they borrow from banks. Bring in investors. Use credit lines. Now they can hire staff. Buy inventory. Run ads. Expand operations. If the business makes more money than the loan costs, white right pointing backhand index, the owner keeps the profit. White right pointing backhand index, the loan gets repaid. White right pointing backhand index, growth accelerates massively. This is how companies go from small shops to massive brands. Without debt, growth is slow. With smart debt, growth is exponential. Section 5, Tax Advantages, why debt is even more powerful. Now here's something most people don't know. In many countries, including the US and others, right pointing backhand index loan interest is tax deductible for businesses and investments. What does that mean? If a millionaire pays interest on a loan, that interest reduces their taxable income. So they have a checkmark pay less tax. Have a checkmark keep more profit. Have a checkmark grow faster than cash-only investors. So debt is not just funding. It's also a tax strategy. That's why wealthy people structure their finances very carefully. They don't just ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "How do I finance this in the smartest tax-efficient way?" Section 6, Leverage on Leverage, the Wealth Loop. Now this is where it gets powerful. Once millionaires use debt to buy assets, those assets start generating income. Then they use that income to borrow more money. Let's break it down. 1. Take a loan. 2. Buy an asset. 3. Asset generates income. 4. Use income plus asset value to borrow again. 5. Buy another asset. This creates a cycle. Right pointing backhand index debt asset income more debt more assets. This is called compounding